Despite endless promises, power failure in Ghana seems inevitable. The simple truth is, we consume a lot more power than we have available. There is a chronic shortage of power. Why have we not anticipated and planned for the exponential growth in demand? Where is the blueprint for solving the power challenges? Adequate and reliable power is at the heart of all vibrant economies and should be at the center of government thinking. Without power, everything quite literally grinds to a halt.
We are very worried, as our recent study shows, of the fact that inadequate investment in energy is going to slow down the economy and the growth rate. So, we are absolutely convinced that tackling these problems in power distribution should be top or close to the top of the agenda of the president. Without power, nothing will work. All the dreams of Ghana attaining emerging economy status and staying there and all that are dependent on there being adequate supply of power.
When you are in business, you need the access roads. You need the provision of water. You need electricity. These are fundamental needs that will grow an economy, because the private sector cannot come and start building roads and generating electricity and so on and so forth. That's what we are doing now. How are you going to be competitive? You can't.
Buying generators and diesel to keep production going is no solution. It increases production costs and makes imported products cheaper.
And that is why, of course, we've become import dependent. Without the Chinese, we don't live, because even toothpick, we've got to bring it in.
Power outages have plagued Ghana since the 80s. In 2012, damage to the West Africa gas pipeline plunged the country into darkness. And VRA, at huge cost, had to import crude oil to keep running. In the case of Sunun Asogli, the plant had to be shut down. It's designed only to run on gas.
I cannot do anything without fuel. There's no fuel. The plant cannot run. This kind of situation never happened in our country. In case that there is a failure like that, people all concentrate. No people will sleep. We will concentrate to solve the problem.
You will fix it.
Of course.
The plant sat idle for 9 months, at huge cost to the company and also to the nation. Government promised investors gas and failed to deliver, which is hard to understand, considering the large amounts of gas associated with Jubilee. 4 years after first oil, there is still no gas. All we have is a litany of woes, delays, and broken promises.
We started actual work in December last year. You were hoping to have finished the first phase with the core process unit in place by the end of December.
So why?
But what happened was that there were some delays in payments to the contractors, especially to the European American contractors. And so they were compelled to halt the procurement of long lead items.
But you speak about payment delays as though they are natural things to happen. Is that not poor management?
It's not everything that is under our control. When government has to make some payments and the payments are not due or cannot be made, we cannot be blamed for it. But I'm happy to say that by the end of March next year, we will finish the mechanical completion. And by June
2013,
because 2013,
there will be gas.
June 2013.
It's now April 2014, and we are still waiting.
As we sit today, we are told that there will not be power crisis any longer. I say this is wrong, because we don't have reserve margin. What we have is just enough to meet our demand now.
So load shedding can come anytime?
Yes, in case any of the plants go for maintenance, we are in trouble. We are back to dumso.
At the end of the day, you need new investment, you need new capacity, and you need money to do that. And for you to have money, you need either the banks to want to give you the money, or you want the government to give you the money. Somebody has to give you that money to invest. And if we don't have the money, we cannot build.
We have to be serious about investing in this sector. There are real issues. If we joke with them, we joke with our economy.
And so we come to the great tariff debate.
We see crude oil prices changing. They have been increasing, for the past 2 years, even though we haven't given VRA new tariffs.
There's no way that VRA can provide adequate capital investments and good service with the current tariff. There's no way.
People must pay for the power they consume. And I think that unless we are realistic about tariffs, we'll collapse our utilities.
As expected, the public was unsympathetic to the call for higher tariffs and asked for better services as a prerequisite for paying more. The utilities, on the other hand, were asked for higher tariffs in order to provide better services. The classic chicken and egg debate.
They told us before that when we pay more, they will give us better services. But as we paid, we don't have it.
If you don't supply us, how do we expect us to pay more? So they should improve their things, and then we get electricity every day. Well, we also pay for them.
It is retail, you know. This is not, you are selling something to me, and I'm giving you my money. And I'm telling you that, yes, I want you to give me a good service, and I'll pay for it. What is wrong in the consumer in Ghana asking for good services?
In a hugely unpopular move, the Public Utilities Regulatory Commission increased tariffs by 78%. The public was outraged, and the unions threatened strike. No sooner had that happened when government intervened, promising to provide a subsidy to take the pressure off the man on the street, the voter. And so, as usual, well-laid-out plans made way for political expediency.
Our plans have become political manifestos because every government virtually comes in with a manifesto or promises or what it thinks it wants to do, and then we use that as our plan. The next election, it could change. If the government changes, the plan changes.
We appear to take a short-term approach to what long-term issues are. I mean, I look at generation. No new project will take less than 4 years to build. Now, if every 4 years the government changes and changes its priorities, I will not get my projects built.
As usual, we've been intellectually lazy, and so we are scratching the surface.
What do you mean scratching the surface? Explain.
For example, if we take power tariffs, it's not just about whether the tariff should go up or not, or whether ECG, VRA, GridCo, whether they are being efficient or not. The issues should be driven by what is our national strategic position.
The country needs to bring together the best amongst us to put together a plan that transcends party politics and political manifestos, and that brings the power crisis to an end once and for all. Given all that's happened, it's no surprise that there are some out there asking for the resignation of the energy minister.
I say, yes, use me as a punching bag, get angry. But please, it's not an emotional matter. Because you know why? For 2 decades, we never added a generation. The first generation we have, I said it, 1962. We never added anything to 1972, 10 years. We never added anything to another 10 years. So basically, for decades, we have not been adding enough generation to meet this growing demand.
Why?
So
why?
We say never again.
Let's talk about load shedding. You spoke about load shedding ending in 2012 and in 2013. And now we're in 2014 and there is still load shedding. What is going on?
I think we now understand that on a yearly basis, demand for electricity is increasing.
It exceeds supply.
Exceeds supply. And so if there's a glitch, we are going to go back to load shedding. Yeah. What are the things that we have to do to avoid that? We must, on a yearly basis, add more generation and find the fuel solutions that are cheaper. Okay. And that is exactly the steps that we are taking. And you know what? And I'll be frank. We can change 30 energy ministers. It doesn't take away the reality that our reserve margin is not there.
When you say reserve margin, you mean like a spare tire?
That spare tire is what we need to move to have.
Okay.
Move to have it aggressively and make sure.
Yes. But until we have that, there will be load shedding. I mean, government needs to come clean. Why don't you just say that there will be load shedding?
I'm so determined to work in this sector, to become and working with our team to say that the light would never go on. We must let the light stay on. And we must have a slogan that says, our light must stay on.
But not now, correct? Until you do certain things. A lot of work
to do.
Correct.
And we must be very, very clear about the path that will lead us to getting out of this.
Are we addressing that?
Last year, we added 534 megawatts. We added 132 from T3. This year, we have 220 coming from Pong project that we are very aggressive on it. I'm talking to the contractors on a daily basis. We are targeting another additional steam turbine being added to give us additional 110 this year. That's 340. Just think about us adding at least 300 megawatts on a yearly basis. We understand why people are angry, but I want to assure the people of Ghana, we are determined to address the critical constraint to this country's economic growth, which is electricity. We'll do it.
I wish you luck, sir. One wants to give Minister Boa the benefit of the doubt. But we've heard it all before. It seems like déjà vu. If he were to achieve half of what he said, that would be progress. But when all is said and done, we need power and not promises.